Welcome to the red light presentation that unfortunately I forgot to hit record. I thought I hit the record button for the live and clearly I am not very tech savvy. So unfortunately, or fortunately, it depends how you look at it. I'm going to redo the presentation and then that way it's here available for you and you can go back and look at it whenever you need to. So in today's presentation, I'm going to be talking about all the red light therapy devices, how they work, what to look for when you're looking to purchase red light therapy, what it can do, what it can't do, the different lighting options and so forth. So then that way you can make a really good informed decision should you choose to bring red light therapy to your boudoir, if you will. Because again, red light therapy is effective. There is plenty of data out there showing that it is very, it helps with stimulating the cells, it's stimulating the collagen, the healing, it increases blood flow to the area. If you look into infrared, which is like a deeper penetration, so that is a very specific as opposed to red light therapy, it does help with lymphatic draining, muscle, and tissue repair. So this is something that is really gaining traction. You're gonna see a lot of it. The thing with red light therapy is it's really important to make sure that you are not only financially able to afford the device, because the ones that work are not the cheap ones, unfortunately. And I have 3 options that I have available for you if you guys would like to look at some. They all have different pros and cons, and I'll go through that at the end of the presentation, but they are available on my Shop My Shelf. After that, if you find one that meets the criteria, like maybe you're at Costco or shopping somewhere else, feel free to go ahead. I'll give you the criteria so you know which ones to look for. But understand you really do need to use this on a regular, consistent basis because it's like your skincare. If you don't use it, it don't work. And this is an expensive piece of equipment. And again, it depends on your skin condition, what your goals are, and the overall kind of picture of how you want to proceed with this. So I have my notes here. I'm going to be going off of them because this is what I did during the presentation. And hopefully I'll answer all your additional questions because the question and answer period that we had at the end was pretty simple and basic, but at the same time, I'm pretty sure I covered them, so I want to make sure. But of course, if you have any further questions, you can always jump on the forum and ask them afterwards because I want to make sure that you are comfortable with the information that you received. All right, so let's get started about talking about these wonderful red light therapy devices. You're gonna see them in all different shapes and sizes, and they're all gonna have this marketing of it's the best of the best of the best. And they all start sounding very similar after a while. So what I wanna do is take away the mystique of it all and really just kind of get down to the nitty-gritty and what is like basically how is it going to work for you in your lifestyle. So red light therapy works by stimulating your cells' mitochondria. So that is the area that is in charge of your cells, and it creates more energy within the cells. When we age, everything slows down. So we lose our growth factors, our skin cycle. So as our skin starts and comes to the surface, dies off and moves on, that slows down. So that's why things get a little bit slower when you're looking for results. And as I mentioned, the growth factors, we have 100%. These growth factors are in control of specifically for the skin, I just want to be clear. Growth factors are about making sure that we have the specific communications to tell our skin how to thicken and firm, which computer chips we want to turn on, which is the collagen, the elastin, and the fibroblast. We lose that as we age. So in our 20s, we have 100%. By the time we hit 50, we have about 2.5%, right? So everything starts slowing down. Plus, if you're female and you hit perimenopause, menopause, we also lose a good 30% of our collagen production on top of that. So there's a lot of things that slow down, and this is why when you hit your 40s and 50s, you will find that you will have a bit of what I call the face dump, where you're doing great and all of a sudden it's like, boo, you lost the collagen, you lost the volume, you have your nasal labia, your marionette lines, they're popping out, and you're just like, how did I miss this? I don't understand. Yesterday was great, today I turned 45 and all of a sudden, boom, it hits you. So this is something that can come very, very quickly. And when it comes to red light therapy, it's just another method to help stimulate that collagen, stimulate healing, stimulate more, just basically stimulate the whole cell so that they can continue to function at an optimum level because they are already slowing down. So when I was talking about red light therapy, it definitely helps to boost new cell growth. It helps to repair the skin, so this is great if you've had any type of injuries. I know myself, I have used it for that. Stimulates your collagen, increases your fibroblasts, which is what makes our collagen, so we need that sucker stimulated as much as possible. We want to keep hitting that button as much as we can. And it also increases blood circulation within the tissue, which reduces inflammation. When it comes to aging, the last thing we want is more inflammation. We need to reduce inflammation, and red light therapy is very therapeutic for that. And it does not penetrate deep into the muscles. Red light therapy is topical. It is in the epidermis, and that's where infrared would come into play. For the light to actually work, so whatever method you choose, whether you do a mask or a panel, you want to make sure that the minimum wavelength for this penetration, so you can see results, is 630 nanometers, or 620 is kind of the basics, but 630 nanometers is going to be the best of the best. Specifically 630 to 660 is the sweet spot. And that's what's going to penetrate deep into the mid-dermis. So you have the top layer of the skin, the epidermis, and then you have the dermis, which is right below it. And that's where all that collagen and fibroblast is. And you will see a red light. So that is what you're looking for red light therapy. Now, when it comes to infrared therapy, this is the one I was talking about, where this is more for muscular, for tendons. So you typically would use it for the body, including muscles, joints, lymphatic vessels, and some dermal structures. You see this typically at the gym. This is kind of the big thing right now. I know I have it at my gym, and it really does help penetrate, or it does help with injury repair. It definitely helps with the overall wellness of the skin. Of course, I like to use it because it definitely helps with lymphatic drainage. And I have some nice old injuries from too much Zumbaing that I definitely need some help with. And of course, of my previous career where I was a police officer and I had to wear a duty belt and the full gear, definitely I have some old scar tissues from that. And I find that the infrared is very, very effective. Now for near infrared, there's no light, so you're not going to see it, but there are products that will have the infrared options available for you. So don't panic if you don't see a light, but you can see that it's turned on. That's all you need to know. And as I mentioned, it is really helpful for improving the overall healing of deeper wounds or deeper issues. Great for arthritis, by the way. The wavelength is 700 to 1200 nanometers. So that's what you're going to look for the device. Does it have these perimeters? That's what you're looking for. And like I said, no visible light, penetrates deep into the muscles, helps to reduce the inflammation and pain, of course, and supports overall tissue repair and regeneration at a deeper level. So this would be more for the overall wellness of your body, not necessarily your face. I highly recommend, so if you're looking for basic face, I would say stay with red light therapy. If you're like, Natasha, I just want something for my face, stay with red light therapy. If it doesn't have infrared or it's called near infrared, then you don't need that option. But if you're like, well, heck, I can take a little extra, that's something to consider. Now, there's also other devices that have different lights that help for different skin conditions. And this is where when you go into something like the Cure system, this one has multiple light functions. This might be an option for you. If you don't have these issues, then this might not be an option for you, but it's good to know what to look for. So if you have any type of acne prone skin, this would be good if you have a teenager or you yourself get a little bit of cystic acne on a regular basis. The blue is excellent for acne prone skin. The wavelength is between 405 to 470 nanometers, so not nearly as deep as the red light. But the blue light is highly effective at targeting the epidermis, the top layer of the skin only. And what it does is it helps to destroy the acne causing bacteria, which leads to the release of reactive oxygen species that destroy bacteria, which is fabulous. So this is a really effective light therapy for acne prone skin. It also helps to regulate sebum production and reduces inflammation on the surface of the skin. So blue light therapy is excellent. And like I said, if you have a teenager or somebody that is suffering, of course, along with their traditional skincare routine and maybe medication, depending on how severe their acne is, highly, highly, highly recommend blue light therapy because it has been shown to be very effective. But like everything else, if you don't use it, it won't work. So just make sure that you're not investing into something that's somebody may or may not be using. When you're looking at rosacea skin, so very hypersensitive of rosacea type skin, maybe you just had a treatment done, so your skin perhaps from either let's say you had a facelift, or you've had some surgery, or you've had some rosacea is a common one. The other one, there's a few other options that you can do. Oh, chemical peels, laser treatments, things like that. This is where you want to look for amber light therapy. Now, amber light therapy typically is for my rosacea clients. The wavelength is between 570 to 220, so just almost a little bit, almost at the red light therapy mark, but not quite. And it has a nice warm golden orange color. So that's what you're going to see. It only penetrates into the upper dermis with but not as deep as infrared. So when you're getting it a little bit past the epidermis, so it's not like blue light, which is on the top of the skin. It's going a little bit deeper into the skin. But what it does is it helps to increase blood circulation and reduces the erythema, the redness within the skin. Very effective. It doesn't get rid of your broken capillaries. So broken capillaries that are on the surface of the skin that comes with rosacea, that you will have to get lasered off, but it will help reduce the redness around it. So this is something that you might want to consider. And if you have the rosacea with the acne, you could do a blue light therapy, and then you can do an amber light therapy afterwards. So you're killing the bacteria, but you're also getting the anti-inflammatory aspects with the amber light. It again penetrates only into the upper dermis of the skin, so the top layer and just a bit of the dermis. So it's not red light. It's not going to go nice and deep and stimulate the collagen production. But yes, if you can tolerate, you can do amber if you build your way up to it and then eventually go to red. It does help with lymphatic flow, increases circulation. And the other thing is it's excellent for as I put in my notes here, post-procedure care. So I've already talked about that. So this is why I love using amber light therapy. And again, after you've had some sort of treatment done, I want you to make sure that you are not using your red light therapy for at least 24 to 48 hours. Because depending on the type of treatment you've had done, we need to have that window where the skin can heal to a degree, and then we could start kind of helping it along with the red light therapy. If we go in too fast, we can actually undo some of that. So I always say to my clients, give it a full 24, 48 hours. After that mark, you are safe to go ahead and start using your therapy of choice. Now, can you use red light therapy if you suffer from melasma? Melasma is a different duck. Melasma is when your melanocytes, so these are the sites that produce pigmentation within your skin. We all have them and they live within our skin. This is a skin condition where those melanocytes stay turned on. And they're usually triggered by hormones is the main contributor, but it can come from trauma to the skin. It can come from any type of heat. It can come from even sweating. It can come from the radiation of the sun, which is the most common. Even just the heat from the sun. So even if you're underneath a big umbrella and you have the heat from the sun, but you're completely protected, but that itself can cause those melanocytes to just keep spitting out pigmentation. And if they stay active, they're constantly going to continue to produce pigmentation. So this is where it gets really tricky, because red light therapy, yes, you can do lower levels and less time, but if you stimulate that melanocyte with the heat, because there is going to be a little bit of heat exchange when you're using a panel or a mask, this is where it gets tricky. I personally don't recommend red light therapy to my melasma clients. It's such a challenge to work with, and especially when you have a flare-up. The last thing I want to do is have you behind the 8 ball. I would say use different forms of stimulation as opposed to anything that can cause even just the slightest bit of trauma to the skin or heat to the skin. Just not worth it, in my humble opinion. Now, if you don't have melasma, but you have skin of color and you're worried about that, I don't think there's any issues there. It's just strictly if you have melasma that it can cause a flare-up. So again, not recommended. I think it's too risky personally. Now, what's the difference between the handheld, the panels, and the masks? And then there's these other ones that fit over the face. I just have this for the chest, but there's similar ones where you can have that. And really, at the end of the day, what it's going to be is it's about how many lights. And remember I said about the nanometers, that's what you're going to be looking for. So red light therapy panels give you large surface areas. This is great because you can use it for your entire face, your chest, You can use it for your head. This one also has infrared. So the panels give you more surface area, but they're usually a little bit more expensive. When it comes to the masks, again, a mask is a mask is a mask. You just want to make sure that you have enough lights in there and that you have the correct nanometers, as I mentioned before, the 620 and up for the nanometers. There's a lot of masks out there on the market, and people have ones just around the eyes, or just what was the other one I saw? Yeah, it was just the eyes. And I'm like, why would you want it just around the eyes? I want the whole face. Like, let's treat the whole area. So again, you want full coverage and you want a really good amount of lights. I hate to tell you this, but if they're cheap, they're going to be cheap. You have to have, there needs to be a little bit of money in this. So around the $300-500 mark is typically what you're looking for. Anything less than that, I'd be cautious. And then of course you have the flat ones. And again, they have all these different type of red light therapies within them. And again, this was kind of like the first generation, if you will, or the chest panels. When it comes down to even light distribution compared to using a handheld, this is where there's issues. This is why I don't advocate for any handheld device of any kind. First of all, it's not strong enough. And even if it is strong enough, you must keep it in that area for 3 to 5 minutes minimum. So if you have to cover this area for 3 to 5 minutes, and then move on to this area for 3 to 5 minutes, and then move to this area for 3 to 5 minutes, you get the picture. It's very time consuming. It is, we call it user fatigue. After a while, the novelty is going to wear off very, very quickly. And again, you're not getting, the biggest thing is you're not getting enough dosing of the actual light. So it's important that you have something that is literally right there covering your entire face. That's why panels or masks are going to be your go-to in all honesty. The handheld ones, they're just not strong enough. Most of them don't even have the correct nanometers, so be aware of that. And if they don't say the nanometers on the box, don't buy it. What are you buying? That just, to me, that doesn't make any sense. The other question that came up is, can you overuse red light therapy? The answer is yes. So according to the photobiomodulating principles, too much light can actually inhibit cell activity. Not surprised. Causes transient pigmentation changes for the skin, so the skin can all of a sudden go into pigmentation, and that can last for months. So just like everything else, this falls under the same thing with the whole skin flooding fiasco. A little hydration is good. Overhydrating is where you disrupt the actual matrix of the skin. Same thing with red light therapy. A nice small amount of pre-planned red light therapy is excellent. Overuse, well then, it can stop actually working completely. So it really will go against what your goals are. The time frame for red light therapy is anywhere between 3 to 10 minutes. That's really where you want to be. I'll be honest, I prefer the 10 minutes. I find I see better results that way, but sometimes people need to build up. So if you start with 3 minutes, you can move up to 6 minutes, then you can move up to 9 or 10. The nice thing is also if you are in a rush and you have, like, this one has a timer for 3 minutes as well as the panel, you can just do a quick 3 to 5 minutes and still get some of the benefits of having the red light therapy. You really don't want to exceed using it once a day for 3 to 5 times a week, but you do need to use it a minimum of 3 to 5 weeks to see results, and it takes time to see results. So you're not going to see it like that. It's going to take 2 to 3 months to really see some good solid results. I highly recommend that you take before photos and then 3 months of using it consistently 3 to 5 times a week. Then you can compare those 2 photos and you're going to see you'll be surprised how much your skin has changed. Make sure you're also not changing any of your skincare products during that time if you wanted to test this, just to see how well your skin progressed while you're using the red light therapy. But it does work, and it works very, very well. And sometimes it's just these little subtleties that just makes your skin look, oh, just that little extra glow. And that's what red light therapy really can do for a lot of people. I personally love it. When I'm not testing other brands, I love having it in my skincare routine because I find it makes a huge difference, personally speaking. You can use your device. Okay, so how to use your device. This was the big one. So when it comes to using your device, you want to use it on clean, dry skin. So you can use it in the morning, or you can use it at night. You wouldn't use it twice a day, every day. You would use it once a day. So pick a time. If you aren't busy that morning, go ahead and indulge in a little spa light experience. If you're at night and you're like, oh, this is my time, pick your choice of product and indulge in that. And then you follow it up with your regular skincare products. So never put your products on first, because the two theories here. First theory is we want to make sure that we get proper product absorption. So we want to make sure that happens. And the second issue is that it may inhibit the light. Right, so there are some products, like I know this one, the panel, has products that they say is safe to use. I tried it with the products. I didn't find it made that much of a difference at all. My skincare is on point. So if you choose to go with the Misama, I hope I said that right, I highly recommend you don't buy it with the skincare products. I'm sure you already have an amazing skincare routine, and the products themselves, it wasn't that great in my humble opinion. It wouldn't make it on my shelf in that department, but the panel itself is fantastic. So again, clean skin, use it for its appropriate time, and then go ahead and follow it up with your skincare. The only time you're not going to use this is you're not going to use it if you are exfoliating that day. Again, when we're taking care of the skin, and we don't want to ask too much of it at the same time. We don't want to overstimulate the skin. So I always tell people, you know what, most people probably can do it, but there's a lot of people that are very, very sensitive skin. So I'm like, just don't use it that day. You only have to use it 3 to 5 times a week. If you exfoliate twice a week, those are the 2 days you skip out. You skip out on a step, you don't overstimulate your skin, and you can continue on with your regular skincare routine without issues. It's a win-win as far as I'm concerned. Again, the whole point is don't overdo it. More is not better. We got to get that out of our head, because that is some bad programming we've had. Am I right? Okay. How do you clean your red light therapy device? Very simple. If you're like me and you love Norwex, I just take my Norwex and I just wipe it down after every use, especially if you have the mask, because this one's going to sit directly on your skin to skin. And if you have your teenager or you have acne, you want to make sure that you're cleaning it off. So if you don't have the Norwex, you're like, what's that? It's a fabulous cleaning product. Anyways, what you're going to use is you're going to take a clean wipe with a very, very mild soap, and then you're just going to gently wipe it in. Do not use rubbing alcohol, because most of these masks have this type of squishy silicone, and the last thing you want to do is break down the silicone, because then that way it's not comfortable. I like this one from Cure because, again, it's got a really nice comfortable mask. It gives me all my lights and my lighting options, and you want to have your red light therapy as close to the skin as possible, but that's how you would do it. And then most of these come in a bag or some sort of protective device. Please do that, because dogs love chewing on this and we don't want to get puppy or kitty sick. The other thing is we want to make sure that we don't have dust on it and we don't have oils or debris that would inhibit its function. We want to make sure it's nice and clean, put it away after use, and then you are ready to rock and roll the next time you pull it out. The other thing is you're not going to sleep with this, okay? So if you are exhausted that day and you know you're probably going to fall asleep with a nice soothing, red light therapy on you, don't use it. Because again, what you can risk is, they're all on timers, the ones at least that I've reviewed. But at the same time, if you sleep on it, you can actually cause it to break, or you could cause squishing of the skin. Again, just not worth it. So I highly recommend you don't do that. Never use it while you're in the tub. I think that goes without saying, but I did have somebody like, well, it's just on my face. Is that a bit? Just let's not tempt fate. All right. No, nobody wants that. The other question I had is, do you need to use the ocular protections? I personally have tried it with and without. I like to keep my eyes closed. Personally, I have had absolutely no issues just keeping my eyes closed and just enjoying the red light therapy. I try to listen to a podcast just to kind of reduce the stress within my life, or listen to some nice music. But if you are very hypersensitive, believe the panel as well as the Cure, they all have these little goggles should you use them. But I just close my eyes and I hadn't had any issues with that. And I've heard that there are some possible benefits to red light therapy for the actual overall wellness of the eye area as well. But again, I need to dive in a little bit deeper in that, because again, that would be a question for my optometrist. Haven't talked to him yet. Gotta love technology when it works. Sorry guys, my battery died, so plugged her back in. Let's continue on with my recommendations here. So the first one I was going to talk about was the Cure Red Light Therapy Mask. I like this one and I use it quite a bit. I'll interchange the two, but I want to explain the reason why I love this one so much is because it's a quick cycle. Sorry, we put this one down here. It's a quick cycle, so I can do 3, 6, or 10 minutes, and it has all the different light functions. So I have the red light therapy, the infrared, I also have blue light and amber light. So when it comes to being versatile in the lighting department, this is my favorite. It's very comfortable. It's chargeable, so you have this little thing here. Now, if you do decide to get it, there is a trick with this, because I heard somebody say it doesn't last. Yes, it does. The charge will last. The thing is, you have to remember to turn it off. So when you first turn it on, you'll see that little white light there. Okay, then you go ahead and put on your cycle, and it's timed. And like I said, this one does come, I put my phone away there. It does come with a phone app, so you can change all the settings as you like, and there's really great clear instructions, so it makes life really easy. But it gives you all the different colors. When you are done and it shuts off, the little light will still stay on. So what you want to do is hold it and then turn it off, and that's how you're going to actually save your battery. So honestly, the Cure is fantastic, easy to clean. It's very comfortable. Like I said, it has a little bit of this silicone type of feel to it. Great lights, and you're getting what is it again? The full light cycles with it. So all the different light cycles. Now, the mask itself is $539, but they did give me a direct discount code on the link. So if you go to Shop My Shelf, the link itself will give you 10% off, which is a nice thing. Now, the mask is going to, it doesn't come with a chest or a neck, which is unfortunate. You can technically put it on your scalp if you're trying to stimulate your hair follicles. So that will sort of work, but it's not the same. And remember, when it comes to red light therapy, you want to get it as close as you can onto the skin. Unless, of course, you have a panel. The panel will be a little bit stronger, but you still want to sit nice and close. But when it comes to this, I love this because, again, I just tie it in the back, and then you can put it on. And this you can put on whatever clothing you have. You just turn it on. And again, it is chargeable, and it holds the charge for a long time. Unlike the other one, there's not like a little safety thing that you have to turn off or an additional, but literally does your entire neck and chest. And it doesn't quite get right underneath the chin area, but it's pretty good. So I have to say, I love the neck device, especially if neck and chest is your issue. And if you have the budget, go for it. That's what I say. The neck piece itself is also another $538. So not the cheapest version, but if that's something you want to invest in, that's a great combo. The other combo that I love, and like I said, is kind of my favorite, is the, and I want to say Mesama. I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. But this comes, and again, you plug it in. So it's not remote. You do have to sit in front of it, but this one is very versatile. And it comes on a 3-minute, 6-minute, 9-minute, 10-minute light cycle. And it also has the full red light therapy, which is 668 nanometers, so well above what we're looking for, plus 850 infrared nanometers. So again, you get both with this. And there's a little thing here on the bottom where it says red, and then the I means infrared. So when you turn it on, you'll see if these turn green, you'll be able to see which one, and then there's a timer in here. And they also have a strobe effect as well. So again, just a little extra bonus. I like this because I can use this over my entire face, neck and chest all in one. You do sit rather close to it. You can use it for your scalp. So if you wanted to, you just put your head down. What I like is I can put this on my bed. So I do have some arthritic in my knee. So what I do is I lay it flat. You have to be careful that you don't touch the buttons, but again, I can do a couple cycles like that, usually 10 minutes with my knee, and it just does so well. I also go to the gym. They have an infrared sauna there, so I make sure I maximize on that, but this is why I love the panel. The panel does come with a discount code, so again, you can find it on Shop My Shelf, and the discount code is BJM10. Like I said, gives you everything that you need. Unfortunately, right now, they are not available in Canada and the US, or sorry, in Canada or Australia due to the tariffs. So unfortunately, that is not available. But for outside of those areas, you can go ahead and order. And they do feature it with their products. And as I was saying during the presentation, I don't recommend them. I tried it. I didn't find they did much. It really wasn't much ado about nothing. And it'll save you some money as well. Not to mention, again, I don't recommend using products before you actually use their light. I know they say otherwise, but I tried both versions, and I can honestly say I did not feel that the products that they sold with it actually amplified anything. So just to put, and this was before I even tried anti-age, so this was quite a few years ago. The last one is called the Current Body Mask. I don't have a demo of it. but you will see it on Shop My Shelf. It looks like one of these kind of masks, but it's got a cutout for the face. I gave it to my girlfriend because I have already red light therapy and she needed one, so she got the best of those. The older model was $475, but it had no infrared, so it was just straight red light therapy. But of course, it did have the 633 nanometers. So again, plenty of red light therapy, so there was no issues with that. It was flexible enough that you could put it on your face and then you could put it on your chest, but you'd have to do a cycle, and each cycle was 10 minutes. So there was no timer on that, but it is flexible, so you could use it around you know, other parts of your body if you have an injury or something like that. But like I said, no infrared. The newer model is $639 and includes an under chin area. So I thought that was pretty decent, and it does offer the infrared as well. But again, $475, now it's $639. Makes sense though, more technology, and of course a little bit more equipment, but no chest piece. The chest piece is again sold separately. So again, much like the Cure system, you're gonna have to pay extra for that. And that's why I tend to go to the panels. Now, with that being said, they gave me a discount code CB Natasha, all in uppercase. And again, you can find that on Shop My Shelf. So those are the options that I've tried. I mean, at this point, I've been offered 3 or 4 other options to try, but at the end of the day, a red light therapy is a red light therapy is a red light therapy. Like it's like you can't keep reinventing the wheel. You can make it sound a little bougier. You can do different designs. But at the end of the day, if I'm getting the nanometers that I need, then I'm fine. And if I'm getting the therapy that I need, whether it's red light, blue light, amber light, or infrared, again, that's going to be for you to make that decision, which one you want, based on your needs and your goals. But I can honestly say having them makes my skin much better than not having them. So I hope you found this information helpful and useful. Feel free to go back and rewatch it as many times as you need to. And if you do have any other follow-up questions, you can definitely put your question on the forum. It's really really effective if you do it on the forum, on the web page, simply because that way we have an opportunity for other people to go, oh yeah, I wanted to know about that too, right? There's no such thing as a dumb question, but if you have a private question, you can always email me at info@beautyjm.com and I'd be happy to answer questions. Remember, I answer all the questions like that Tuesdays to Fridays, every single day of the week. That's when I like to clock in. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays are my days off for my family, and I tell my staff to not do any work on Sundays, but sometimes that doesn't always work. They are pretty amazing, but again, that is the limitation of when we usually get back to people. All right, so I hope this was helpful. Take care, you guys, and enjoy.